in the interim and implement some reforms. And then the sports minister also said, or he also gave details, or it was announced that the GFA had submitted the budget for the final qualifiers of the Black Stars World Cup journey, or the qualifying journey, let me put it that way.
They want to put me down, then they find me.
Okay, so that's the thing. I don't know where you want to go this morning.
Yeah, Nathan.
You want to go Black Stars?
I want to go Black Stars first.
And
okay. I'm interested in a few things, okay?
You are interested in a few things?
Yesterday, the minister presented estimates as forwarded to them by the Ghana Football Association. Estimates for 2 games that the Stars will be engaging in. Okay. Now, the sports minister said the estimates were presented to the FA on the 18th of September 2025, and same was forwarded to the office of the president the day after. Now, the minister, as at yesterday, did confirm that estimate is pending approval from the presidency.
This is Sporty FM.
Now, the minister went on to say that the estimates submitted were consistent with fiscal benchmarks and prudent expenditure guidelines they've agreed on in earlier cycles.
Okay.
Meaning there was some sort of agreement between themselves, the sports ministry and the FA, with regard to how the expenditure should be arranged and what figures should go into those line items. Okay.
So effectively, all these budgets that should be guided by certain principles, certain benchmarks. Okay.
Now, the minister went on to say that there was no deviation. And the minister went on to say he takes the opportunity to sincerely appreciate the FA for their cooperation and the maturity shown throughout this process. So the minister is happy that indeed the FA have been cooperative. They've cooperated in the course of managing some of these things. Now, the minister disclosed that $1.12 million was the estimate that was sent. Some $733,000 for the game against Central African Republic in Casablanca, and some $387,000 for the home fixture in Accra. Ladies and gentlemen, government is expected to approve this budget.
The government is expected. So this is what the FA submitted.
Yes. Government is expected to approve this budget. But today,
Sporty FM.
Some of us want government to look at certain things within this budget again.
Okay.
Some of us want government to pay close attention to certain things in the budget. $1.12 million may seem low from the $1.8 million we used to pay in the past. But Nathan, this document can go down further. Give me a problem.
Hello, Dodge. The problem.
You know we have to travel to Casablanca.
Yeah.
So a lot of the players would have to touch base in Casablanca.
Okay.
A very expensive journey. So for a player like Joseph Pencil, if he has to travel all the way from Los Angeles, possibly touch down in JFK, if he decides to travel through Lomé, he'll go to Lomé and then get on our sky and come to Ghana. If he has to travel in directly then from JFK to Ghana, possibly doing 11 hours on the flight, it's pretty expensive. Because a lot of these players will need decent cabins to be in. So you are looking at players possibly flying business class. And a huge chunk of the money we'll be spending
the voice of
will go into taking care of players' flights and players' accommodation. Players' flights coming back into this country and dealing with all sorts of other matters. Okay. So if the players have to fly into town, that's a huge chunk of the budget. Because they are littered all over Europe, some in North America and all. So it becomes a challenge. So when you hear $1.12 million, it is not as if, the Black Stars players are going to spend 1.2. No, that is not the case. There are certain elements that make this budget huge. Okay? Now, when you move on from there, you are going to Casablanca. You need a decent hotel for the players. I remember when you went to London, you saw the hotel the Black Stars stayed in.
Yeah.
I've forgotten the name.
The Clayton.
The Clayton.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Really nice place.
Clayton is, and that's even a 4-star hotel.
Yeah.
Top notch.
West London,
Yeah, top notch hotel. So you have to give the players accommodation that will make them feel comfortable. Okay? So again, you have to pay for hotels. You pay for single rooms, you pay for double rooms. All of these things swell up to give you that figure of possibly $50,000 plus. It's not cheap. Okay? Then you talk about food. These players have to eat. They have to eat salad in the morning, bacon in the afternoon, beef in the evening, potatoes, mashed potatoes, some turkeys and all. The players have to eat. Okay? So again, feeding the players will cost the state. Then you talk about the officials as well. Of course, they have to eat. So later, the coach will go to the tournament. And now, when the players are eating hotel food, he has to hit the streets in Casablanca and go and look for street food.
No.
So he also has to eat. So all of these things play a role in giving you the figure you arrive at. Okay. Then vehicles for transportation, definitely the home team will do their part. But you also would have to figure out how to move around and sort certain things out. Okay. So, again, provision would have to be made for that. Now, Nathan, a certain component of the team would have to move from Accra to Casablanca.
Okay.
So, the officials, the team managers, the kids managers, the masseurs, the doctors, all of those officials would have to move from Accra to Casablanca. Now, when they move from here to Casablanca, they have to come back. Now, because of the time between the first game and the second game, you need the team to be back in Accra in time to prepare for the second leg. The second leg of the qualifiers.
Yeah.
So it means that you'd have to incur extra costs of flying the team on a private jet so that they can come back in. Chartered flight, let me put it that way.
Yeah.
On a charter flight to come back into town quickly. Again, that service is not cheap. You understand? You're possibly doing $150,000 minimum. You could do up to $200,000. It's expensive. Okay? Again, when you put all of those things together, Nathan, flight alone is possibly going to cost you almost half of that budget.
Okay.
So, it's not as if people are concocting figures or creating figures just to, as it were, benefit from things they shouldn't be benefiting from. These are huge expenditures. Okay. Then you talk about per diem. Officials would have to take their per diem. Players would have to take their per diem.
There are other details of how much it is. I guess.
As for per diem is standard. The players take 150, the officials take 200. It's standard.
Really?
Yeah, it's standard. That is what has happened all these weeks, months we've been playing qualifiers.
Oh.
That's the standard.
Okay.
So $150, I mean, it's okay. You know, $150, you know, $200, yeah, it's fine. You get it? So again, you have to take care of these figures. Now, the reason why the per diem is important is that if the players lose the game, the only thing they are left with is per diem.
Oh, they are not entitled to a bonus.
No. If they lose the game,
Yeah.
the only thing they benefit as players, having moved from their bases to come and play for the Black Stars, will be the per diem.
So if that's the case, why isn't it in reverse? Why is it that the players don't have a higher per diem than the officials?
Well, maybe.
But you get the question I'm asking.
I get you. Maybe over time, or maybe with time, there will be a revision. But again, I want to believe maybe it's like this, because should the team win, the players obviously would earn bigger bonuses than the officials who escort them, who follow them. Okay, so maybe the arrangement is such that players are motivated to go and win to earn more. Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know.
We
maybe.
don't know.
We don't know. But I don't know why it is so. But if they lose their game, so for instance, the game against Chad that they drew, if they hadn't won against Mali, the Stars would have gone empty. But you see, Nathan, what is important in this estimate is that there's a component called bonus. Okay. Now, this bonus, again, has the tendency of making the budget sound huge. But in the event where the team doesn't win, these bonuses are not disbursed.
Okay.
So this estimate of over $700,000 you see, if the team fails to win, it means that you are taking out close to $200,000 from that estimate.
If the team doesn't win,
The team doesn't
so
win.
the bonus element goes away.
Goes away. So it's not as if whether the team goes to perform or not. No, in fact, it's not as if when the team goes and doesn't perform, still that over 700,000 will be expended. No, it doesn't work like that. You understand? So when you hear 1.12 million is going to be spent, it doesn't mean that money entirely will be spent on one game. There's a possibility the team may not win. And in the event where they don't win, no bonuses are paid. The coach, the assistant, the doctors, the physios, the masseurs, nobody will receive any bonus. So it means that that budget itself will not be totally expended.
Okay.
Okay. And the same holds for home games. Now, you realize that when we are playing home games, the players would obviously fly into Ghana. No need to spend so much accommodation because no need to spend on flight again, because that charter flight will bring them from Casablanca into Ghana. So you take out that element of buying individual tickets for the players to travel into Ghana. So that cost itself disappears, because there's a provision for them to arrive in the country in one piece. And the tickets, once purchased per the first arrangement, it's always a return ticket. Okay, it's always a return ticket.
Okay.
2-way, 3-way, whichever way. So the first leg will be from UK to Casablanca. Then the second leg will be from Accra back to UK. So all of these ones are taken care of in that first estimate. So you realize that because those elements are not part of the budget for the home leg, the home budget sees a significant drop. Okay. So again, you talk about hotel rooms. Again, you talk about per diems. Again, you talk about meals for the players and officials. And then the bonus. In the event where the team fails to perform again, nobody pays any bonus. So again, there's huge reduction there. Now, you look at elements like taking care of match officials.
Those ones are constant.
Constant. You would have to take care of the match officials. You would have to make sure the security, the match assessor, the match commissioner, all of them are set. Their indemnities are sorted out. Okay, meals for match officials, the accommodation for them, all of those things have to be taken care of by the home team. All of those things form part of the budget. Okay, so you see, when we talk about this budget, we talk about the budget in a light where there are a lot of line items that you cannot leave out. Some are very, very important. Some of them are conditional.
Okay.
Some of them are only spent if the team performs. So again, in this budget, for instance, the $387,000, if the team fails to perform, the state is possibly saving close to some $200,000 if the team fails to win. But you see, Nathan, we always go into football matches to win. So that motivation should be there for players to go out there and play to win. So that whilst we are excited as Ghanaians, they also line their pockets with some good
Sporty
cash.
FM.
So this 1.1 million, Nathan, I must say that based on what we used to see in the past, of some $1.8 million and all being paid or being used to play Black Stars matches, 2 Black Stars games, this is a significant drop. A very significant drop. And so when the minister says that, there was no deviation, and that it was consistent with fiscal benchmarks and prudent expenditure guidelines, I think that for the first time, I would commend the FA for not doing what they used to do. And I'll commend the minister for making sure he's put his foot on the ground to make sure the FA has stayed within the bands.
Okay. So if the minister called you today and said that, Raymond, this is the budget I've received, I'm going to make my decision. But if you were in my shoes, what would you do with this budget? Would you approve it as it is, or you'd look at 1 or 2 revisions?
Oh, well, Nathan, you see, as it is now, and looking at the time and season we are in, if I have reservations, I would wait until we are done with the qualifiers.
Okay.
So that nobody will come and ask me a question of which foolish army will reduce the salary of their soldiers before they go to war. Okay? So I'll take my time. Look, as it is, we've seen a clear departure from what used to be a few years ago. No, in fact, months ago. Or what used to be 2023, 2024, early 2020. 2023, 2024. That's when we played most of the qualifiers, right? Before 2025, there was a change in government, right? What used to be and what government used to spend, I think that this is a significant improvement in terms of the things we used to see in there. Okay? A lot of those ones have been cut out. Now, what we have here, look, if I go into a discussion with players today that per diem of $150 is too much, I'm going to pay you $50. It has the tendency to cause issues. So I'll not touch it. If I go today and I say, oh, bonus of $5,000, I'm slashing it to $2,000, he will have his own issues.
Sporty FM.
So at this point, if I am the sports minister, if I have any reservation at all, I would wait until we are done with the qualifiers and then my team makes it to the World Cup.
Okay.
When the team qualifies for the World Cup, no player's spot in the team is automatic.
So at this point, you are in a position of advantage.
Thank you. No player's position is guaranteed in the team. So this is where me as the sports minister will now sit down and say, okay, we are going to the World Cup. Pre-tournament budget, in-tournament budget, post-tournament budget. Okay, these are the figures. Okay, I am not going to pay winning bonus for friendly games. I am not going to pay per diem of X number of days. I am not going to pay winning bonus of X. I am not going to pay appearance fee of X. Take it or leave it. These are the conditions for any player who wants to play for the national team at the World Cup. This is what the states can take care of. This is what the states can pay for. So, if you are ready to take it, when the call-up comes and your name is there, this is the standard, the standard plan we are going with. That is only when nobody can cry foul or nobody can cry wolf and say their monies have been cut days before the World Cup, their appearance fees have been slashed. No. So at this point, you see, it will be a good bargaining point for the minister and the sports minister to sit down and say, look, this is the template going into the World Cup. We are not making any further adjustments. So for now, I think that this is fine, this is fair. If the minister at a point says that, look, we are going to the World Cup, I'm not going to pay a kids manager X amount of money. So be it. If the minister says we are going to the World Cup, I'm not going to pay X amount of money as winning bonus. You take it or you leave it. That is where the minister can make changes without rattling cages.
Because that's what I'm saying. Nobody's spot is guaranteed.
So that no player comes in and says that Stephen Appiah and his friends receive $100,000, so we too must receive $100,000. You cannot be that entitled. So if a foreign-based player says that, well, I'm not going to get $100,000, and so he's not going to play at the World Cup, no problem. Fine. There are home-based stars who will be willing and ready to go and showcase their talent at the World Cup in Mexico, Canada, USA. So you see, at that point, the minister can properly scrutinize the figures that will come in and slash as many as possible so that the public purse further receives a huge boost or will save a bit more to be able to take off other federations. So Nathan, for now, I think that from 1.8 million, almost $2 million, or $1.9 million to this point, I think that we have done enough. The minister has done enough to save the public purse further depletion from what we've seen in previous qualifiers, and he must be commended. This budget, I am sure, government will approve because of a lot of factors. Look, this is what we call squeaky bum time. It's just 2 games and then you're in the World Cup. So you do not want to touch anything to create any problems. Okay, I'm even surprised that as at September 30, government has not approved this budget because we should start making payments already.
Well, I mean, I'm sure the budget got to the government.
No, but you see, Nathan, look at the processes. It's just October 8. We have to start making payments for the hotels in Morocco. Start making certain payments, advance parties and all. Start making payments for the charter flight and all of these things must be sorted out quickly so that the team would have the perfect atmosphere to go and play our matches. Look, Nathan, if you see the kind of things that have happened in the past, especially with regard to Black Stars budgets, and you hear $1.12 million, you'd realize that there has been a significant drop.
For context, our last budget, Chad and Mali, was $1.3 million. So that's the last budget, $1.3 million.
And we have even seen a further drop.
And this one is 1.12.
Yeah. So I think that, look, Ghanaians shouldn't be too concerned about the figures they hear. Look, there are line items in that budget that you can't avoid. You can't run away from them. Unless you are telling me that we should fly our team commercial to Morocco.
Sporty FM.
Fly them back to Ghana again, commercial. And only God knows how many hours they'll spend in the air. Only God knows how many days they'll spend, including layover and everything, and come and arrive in Ghana. So it is in our best interest to make sure our players come in quickly for the October 12 game. It's October 12, right? It's October 8, October 12. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah,
so, Nathan, for me, I am impressed with the work the minister has done so far by reducing or making sure some of the line items have seen a significant reduction. If the team fails to qualify for the World Cup, Nathan, it is entirely up to them. If they decide not to go and play well and not qualify to the World Cup, it's entirely up to them. They have a lot to lose. Look, playing at the World Cup is the biggest stage of football. And I told you
the
the
match
other
is
time.
8 and 12.
8 and 12, right?
Yes.
I told you the other time that, look, if you ask Abedi Pele, all the things he achieved for Ghana,
The voice of sport.
what is his biggest regret? He'll tell you not playing at the World Cup. If you ask him what his biggest regret is, he'll tell you not playing at the World Cup. Tony Yeboah, ask them. My good friend, Augustine Ayinfo, ask him. He'll tell you not playing at the World Cup. Hurt him. So if you're a player and you feel that you're not receiving X amount of money for playing for the Stars, and so you go out there and not perform, it's up to you. As for me and you, will be here. We'll find a way to still go to the World Cup anyway. We'll not talk about Ghana. We'll talk about other teams. All of us will be here. We'll be watching on TV. But it does your career a world of good if you go out there and play at the World Cup. So the ball is in the court of the players.
Sporty FM.
They don't need, you see, at this point, I'm not expecting anybody to go and motivate these boys to go and play. They must play to see themselves at the World Cup. Kevin Prince Boateng, before he sealed that deal at AC Milan, what was he playing? Where was he playing? It was the World Cup that shot Kevin Prince Boateng back into the discussion for a credible player, back into the discussion for a player who will be considered world class or anything close to world class. Because prior to that, he really was just there and about. But we saw players move on from playing at the World Cup.
Jan got a Sunderland break from
Absolutely.
the 2010 World Cup.
You understand? And so the players must look at the bigger picture and fight for the flag and fight to be at the World Cup. So Nathan, today I come in peace. I come in peace.
Yeah. We'll bring war later.
Oh. We'll not bring war.
7:58. All right, let's take a few calls. And then we can talk about. We can do boxing, right? Ray, after that, we do some boxing.
Yeah,
we'll do some boxing, no problem. So give me a call 0542571061, 0542571061. You can equally send me a WhatsApp message on the same number, or you can call the other number 030-279-4805. I think we have a caller on the line. Hello. Yes.
Yeah, how do you
Shall you put this thing, yo?
Data promotion. Michael from Ablego.
Michael, how are you doing?
I'm fine.
Yes, we are fine. Thank you.
I wanted to ask a question. So this interim committee that the minister and the NSA set up, what are they going to do different from the initial committee the minister set up after the death of the Nigerian boxer?
Okay, so two things. One, the first committee, which was the American Mighty Few one, was to investigate the circumstances that led to Olarenwaju's death, and then propose recommendations, right?
Okay.
Now this new one, they are the ones who are supposed to now implement the recommendations and ensure that everything is fine. When they are done, then they will hand over. So between them and the new GBA, there will be an election.
So it's like Dr. Kofi Annan.
Very good. It's like normalization, what happened in football. So they'll come and put everything together. Then there's an election. Then we have a new GBA, and then boxing continues from there. Okay. Then secondly, I wanted to, I started with Raymond. The latest submission he did before I called him. You see, we don't need to motivate these players. He was talking about Kevin Prince Boateng. Yes.
I want to cite one example. Antoine Semenyo.
Okay.
It was at Bristol City.
Yes.
So after the World Cup, you see them move.
Yes.
To Bournemouth.
Yes.
So Kudus was at Ajax Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Then after the World Cup, straight to West Ham. So you see, you don't need any motivation. The World Cup is the biggest football festival in the whole world. So you have to try and make it possible to be there. There will be scouts all over. There will be coaches, because during that time everybody is at break. They will be scouting for good talent. So you don't need any motivation. No. You don't need any motivation to be there. You have to be there. Those players who are in the lower teams, you have to go there, prove yourself, so that you get a bigger deal, so that your football career will be up there. Thank you very much.
All right, Michael, thank you so much for your call. Really appreciate all the calls, especially from you, Michael. Let me take more calls. 054-257-1061. 054-257-1061. 030-279-4805. Let me take this caller. Hello.
Hello, Nathan.
Yeah, good morning.
Okay, my name is Tete. I'm calling from Lakeside Estate.
Okay, all right.
Okay, so Nathan, can you reconfirm the venue for the Black Stars matches again?
So the next game is an away game. They are going to Morocco to play Central African Republic. And then the game against Morocco is in Accra, I believe.
Sporty FM.
Okay, so this is where I want to make a point. How about, are we aware that Air Maroc has a direct flight to Ghana almost like 3 times a week or 4 times a week? So do we really need a charter flight for that?
I can't tell. I don't know what the mechanics of putting the players on a commercial flight will be. So
because I'm sure
have to explain to us why, for example, not going commercial is the way to go. I guess travel time. You want to cut down travel time and all these bureaucracy. So you get a charter flight. You go in, out. You are done.
Anyway. But Air Maroc leaves Ghana at 4:30 a.m. Arrives in Casablanca by 11. So anyway, like you're saying, maybe they know the dynamics. But if it's about cost cutting, I mean that there are other ways you can look at it. But that's fine. Thank you very much.
Okay, all right. Thank you. That's an interesting point. So maybe going forward, the people at the FA can maybe have an arrangement with Air Maroc and figure something out. Right? Anyway, let me take more calls.
Last time I was going to London, you decided to fly commercial.
Problem
on some airline.
Okay, you let me take this caller. Hello.
Hello, Nathan. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
This is for calling from East Legon Hills.
Okay, yesterday you were in Chadu. Today you're on this other side.
Yeah.
All right, Otunfo, please go ahead.
Nathan, so because we have the normalization committee now, Nathan, I suggest we are not going to have any actual fight anymore.
Well, that is the hope. You know, they are now coming to clean the place and ensure that the right things are done. So let's see what it will look like. Yeah.
But Nathan, they shouldn't tell us that they are now coming to try and then do any try and error. We are expecting, we are very, very expectant. So some of us, you know, we don't joke with our boxing and our football and blah, blah, blah. But
yeah. I'm sure.
We don't want any excuses.
No. I don't think there will be. These are proper boxing people, so they should be able to do the work well. We'll be keeping an eye on them too. So.
Okay. And also, I think I agree with Nathan with regards to the Black Stars budget, blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm.
Also, my last warning to Raymond. See, Nathan, Raymond started my Chelsea yesterday.
What did he do?
Match between me and him. Today he started my Asante Kotoko. Nathan, I will master it.
Raymond, what have you said about Asante Kotoko today?
Today,
so he says what is going to be.
Don't mind. Don't mind. Raymond.
But even he himself is afraid of work.
But Otufa, are you afraid of work? You know. Okay, Otufa, thank you so much. There's a story I'll share with listeners about the last time. No, this was in 2002, right? When Kotoko played with that Casablanca. I have a very interesting personal story I will share as a listener. I was listening to that game. I'll tell you something funny happened that day. Anyway, hello.
Good morning.
Yeah. Bonjour.
Comment ça va?
Ouais, ça va bien. Comment tu vas?
Ça va très bien.
Okay, Emmanuel.
Everyone, what's up?
Speak French to me.
Okay.
I will speak Spanish with you. ¿Cómo está?
This one is not Spanish.
¿Cómo está?
What are you saying?
¿Cómo estás?
I say ¿cómo está?
¿Cómo estás?
It's okay.
That's the fastest version.
Anyway, Emmanuel, please go ahead.
Yesterday, Kawizi. Yesterday, Kawizi gave it to Mr. Bawapa. No, big shout out to Kawizi. Yesterday, the interview was epic.
People like giddy and violence.
Yes. Unless people like Raymond Kawizi. You are too calm. Later, you are too calm.
No, you see, let me show you something. You see, being calm, from my years of doing this work, so there are times when you are wild. There are times, sometimes you are calm because you just want to set the person up, or you are calm because you are looking for something.
But people like Mr. Bawa, see, if you are going slow on them, they'll take over you.
You see, for example, in those kinds of interviews, you go into the interview because Kawawa walks into the interview with first-hand experience. He saw certain things. So if you try to say something different, that one, nobody will take it.
You don't call you don't pick the call. Then you say now, if you want to get to you, you come and put you on air. Then you come and talk. You see, these people, that's the life. When they travel, with you, they think that they are superpowers. Like you can't come close. You can't come close to them. So where will get you? It's on the radio. Then you come and remove your mouth. You see, yesterday I like the banter. The way it was given to him back and forth. Sometimes these people I understand them. More opportunity to get. They think that they are working on they are working with God. You need to be serious. You are working for Ghana. That place is not property. So when the athlete is not happy, you have to make sure the athlete is happy. You are saying that if you don't like the girl, if you don't like the girl, you put the girl on.
No. That was the thing I was telling Bauer yesterday. That whatever it is, clearly there's a problem somewhere.
There's a problem somewhere.
So just sit down and discuss it. Whatever, athletes can just sit down, discuss. By all means, you find where the problem is.
Yeah, yesterday was something. If I don't like the girl, I'll register her.
No, you can't do that. You are the person. You have to register the person. You cannot mistreat the person because of your position. That's your work. Do the work. Anyway.
We shout out to Kawizi this morning. We shout out to Luan. Chelsea, Bolo go break the beach today.
Hey!
I tell you, Bolo go break the beach today. You 2-1, Bolo 2-1.
Okay, no problem. We'll see what happens. Thank you, Emmanuel. Let me take other callers. 054-257-1061. I think we have a caller on the other line. Hello.
Hello, good morning, Raymond.
Nathan here.
Nathan, sorry. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
And this is Atu from Tema.
All right, please go ahead.
Nathan, how do you call it? It's good to be at a World Cup, right? Every player. But it is not always the situation where if you go to the World Cup, you get a big contract.
That is also
because
true.
The reason why I'm saying that is, look at this year, the big transfers. Was it because of the World Cup? No.
But clearly there's context. The World Cup happens once every 4 years. So, I mean.
Thank you. But, it is your club, your performance at your club, that will make you get a big contract.
For some people, to the World Cup.
Fine, but let's say that one will be about 20%. But the rest, it's mainly your club. Kudu's eyes move. Even if you remember, even last season, it was 50-50. It wasn't so good like 2 years ago, if you could remember, at West Ham. Last 2 seasons, he was very...
Hello? Oh, hello?
Hello?
Yes.
Hello, but this year, the last 2 seasons, he was good. Very, very good. But last season, he was on and off. But, he had a big move. So sometimes it depends on your club performance. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Atu, thank you so much. Let me take more calls. 054-257-1061. We'll talk some boxing. So the boxing fans, we'll talk about boxing. Then we do some Champions League as well. So we are not forgetting the Champions League. The showdown between Chelsea and Benfica. Mourinho going back. We'll talk about all of that. Let me take this caller. Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
Yes. Good morning.
Mr. Nathan.
Yes. What's your name and where are you calling from?
The name is Skilly, calling from Suhuman Crown.
All right. Please go ahead.
Okay. Well done for your show.
All right, thank you.
Your man who do the analysis after the course.
Yes.
God bless him.
Amen.
What I want to say about all that people are saying is, Black Stars, they must to know that Ghana spend on them because of to go and improve themselves, to let Ghana be proud of them.
Yeah.
The expenses and all that Ghana is spending on them, not that they are only players that can play for Ghana, but they are the people right now to stand in front of Ghana Black Stars. People can play and play better than them, but now they are the grace for Ghana now. The favor come upon them. The money they are spending on them can even buy medical equipment for our various hospitals.
That's very true.
People need money to improve their farming. A lot of things that Ghana can spend money about. So they must to know that the money they are spending on them, they should go and do something for those of us to be happy. I remember when we were young, people play ball. I can see people are playing football. But because of where they started or where we started, they couldn't go further. So right now, Ghana are looking upon them. It shouldn't be like someone who come and beg you, oh, play well, work hard, play hard to qualify for Ghana Black Stars. Even though the money they are giving to you, if it is not enough, you shouldn't care about that money. Go and stand in front of Ghana Black Stars. So I am begging them. What your man says is that nobody should beg them for them to qualify for Black Stars. Nobody is going to beg them anymore. Yes. I wish Ghana will dismount Black Star for 8 years. I always pray that GFA and the government and all the Ghanaians will make one mind to not have Black Stars in 8 years, to spend those money they are spending on them in another things. So I am begging them. This morning, the program you do this morning, it touched my heart.
Okay.
It touched my heart a lot.
Okay.
So I am begging the Black Stars footballers, the Black Stars players, they should go and stand for Black Stars. The name Star Self is very, very, very important. When you see the star shining in the sky, you see that Black Star, we have extraordinary power. See, long time ago, 82 Ghana won their last trophy. Since then, the money Ghana are spending on Black Stars is not small money. But we are not gaining anything from them. So as I am bringing my conclusion to the end, I am begging them. And I pray for all Sporty FM listeners. May God grant us peace, love, and harmony, grace, favor, and mercy, money, and long life.
All right, Chief, thank you. Thank you so much for your call. 8:15. All right, let's take about three, four calls. Your messages too are coming in. We'll touch on them in a bit, and then we do some boxing. Right? Yesterday, the sports minister set up, or he swore into office the interim management committee to run Ghana boxing. We'll get into that in a bit. But your comments are still welcome. 054-257-1061. Your calls, sorry. Your calls are also welcome. Apologies, a bit of a hiccup. Your calls are also welcome. Let me take this one. Hello? Hello. Okay, this person is not on. All right, whilst we are taking the calls, let me tell you something interesting that MTN is doing. Now, if you loved MTN Free After One, you will love MTN Free After One Extra. Now, with Free After One Extra, you can talk for 1 whole hour uninterrupted while paying for only the first minute
The voice of sports.
of every 10 minutes you talk, which means for every 10 minutes you talk within the hour, you only pay for the first minute. And you get to talk 60 minutes straight without any interruptions. What's more, you get 100 MB of data free after your first call on Saturdays. So now is the time to talk extra. Call your boys, your girls, and chit chat. To subscribe to MTN Free After One Extra, just dial star 550 hash and follow the prompt. Star 550 hash and voila. The corporate tennis tournament is happening between October 3 and 11. I hope you signed your office up. I hope you signed your office, because the date for registration, or the deadline for registration, was the 28th of September. If you haven't done it, I don't know what can be done for you. But if you have signed up, then get ready. Train hard, because it's happening between the 3rd and 11th of October at the Ghana Tennis Club at Abraka. Come and play and cheer and have loads of fun. 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. every Monday to Friday, and 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Saturdays. For more info, call or send a message to 055-555-5700, or follow them on social at Corp Tennis GH, CORP Tennis GH, on Facebook, Instagram, and X. Now, the corporate tennis tournament is sponsored by MTN, Kivo, Old Mutual, Hollard Insurance, Bedrifting Consulting, and supported by Equity Health Insurance, Recent Code, The Same Juices, Suvad, Transport and Logistics, V-Tickets, and Fine Natural Mineral Water. Media partners: Sporty FM, Joy Sports, Ghana Web, GTV Sports, Metro TV, Obonu TV, Graphic Comms, Original FM, MyNewsGH.com, The Brew Show, and Asase 99.5 FM. This is still the Sporty Breakfast. My producers, can you please give me some messages? 0542571061. All right, let's talk some boxing. Let's talk some boxing. Yesterday, the sports minister, it was a busy day for him. He had to do the Black Stars, or he announced that the ministry had received the Black Stars budget. They'll go and deliberate, and and then he also inaugurated or swore into office the interim management committee to run Ghana boxing. Ray, so we are here.
Yes,
we are here
finally. Like we always say, it's always better late than never. And again, let me commend the sports minister for taking steps right from the passing of Olarinwaju.
Okay.
He intervened in the matter, set up a committee to investigate the passing of Olarinwaju. There were recommendations made by the committee.
Yes.
He moved it on to the NSA. The NSA tell us that
they were working in the
shadows to get to this point. Indeed, a lot of time went under the bridge, but thanks to the work that was done by the committee, we are where we were supposed to be 4 months ago.
Yeah.
Having said that,
we've taken the long route.
And again, we've had to leave it late after another trigger. The passing of Bahubali. But you see, I look at that committee that was inaugurated yesterday, and I look at the wealth of experience, the depth of the people on the committee. And I am convinced that professional boxing in Ghana will change for the better.
Okay.
What used to be the case where all sorts of fights were organized, all sorts of grudge bouts were organized, whether boxers fell in the same weight class or not, we still went ahead and promoted fights and organized fights. All sorts of promoters masquerading around us. Promoters with their salt. Nathan, there will be sanity in that space. All sorts of boxers who don't do the necessary medicals. Masquerading as boxers with the right physical requirements of the sport. Nathan, all of those things will be nipped in the bud. All those administrators whose major concern is to find a way to engage in visa racketeering. Again, all those things will come to an end. All those promoters who find a way to convince boxers at amateur level to quickly move pro and struggle to cement their sport in that pro level as top boxers, and all of those things, there will be finality to all of those things that have not helped the sport.
Sporty FM.
All the accusations, people have spent money, people have gone to take money from amateur and gone to put it in professional, and have spent it on bread and things. Look, all of those things will be properly audited. People who have gone for monies from accounts that belong to the association and have gone to use to pay their children's school fees and all of those things will be investigated.
People took money to do what? Pay their children's school fees.
All of those things will be investigated. Proper audit report will come out. Those who went to take monies on behalf of certain federations went to deposit in another federation and were drawing it small. Nathan, all of those things. You see, Nathan, when we talk about cleanup and reset, I think Ghana Boxing will be the first federation
to experience
it. Because you can see, even based on the caliber of people the NSC and the minister put on that committee. Just look at the caliber. And Nathan, take us to the list. There's Mr. Samuel Kaptan, the chairman.
Yes.
Let's continue. Continue.
So the IMC is chaired by Samuel Kaptan, and Azuma Nelson is the vice chair. The story I have here, unfortunately, does not give me a full list.
Okay, no, Nathan, let me help you here. Don't worry.
You have the full list.
I have the full list. Don't worry. You see, that's why. Okay, so Nathan, let me take you to the full list. Now you have Mr. Samuel Kaptan, who himself
one time
president of the Ghana Boxing Association.
Yes.
But the Ghana Boxing Authority. Azuma Nelson, who will be the vice chairman and technical advisor.
Yeah.
He's a boxing legend, we all know.
We know. Africa's greatest boxer.
Best practices. Experience. Know-how. He has it. Good person to be a special technical advisor on this committee. Brigadier General retired I.B. Korte is a veteran boxing administrator. Felix Korte, Esquire, a renowned lawyer, and he spent nearly 4 decades of his service in the boxing fraternity.
Okay.
Top notch. Dr. Hadi Muhammad Abdullah is a renowned Ghanaian neurosurgeon at the Kolebu Teaching Hospital.
Neurosurgeon,
yes.
So he deals with the brain.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You know, there's Dr. Ofori Asare, veteran boxing trainer, multi-title winning coach.
But is he a doctor?
You don't know him? Okay, no, you just put the doctor aside. We'll come back to that one.
But we mean Coach Ofori Asare.
Well, I know Coach Ofori Asare.
Well, I know Coach.
Fantastic.
But Alote's handler.
So he again comes in with wealth of experience. And there's Mr. Lester Ni Ama Kwatin, who's a financial consultant, a boxing promoter and an investor as well. So the financial bit, you come in there and bring this expertise to bear. Patrick Johnson is the current GBA General Secretary.
Your very good friend.
Yes, and he will act as the secretary to the committee.
Okay.
Then there's Mr. Gideon.
You haven't given me your take on Mr. Johnson's fixture in here. Or now you
I reserve
the comment. Okay, no problem.
Mr. Nathan. Mr. Gideon HK Oyajo. He'll be in charge of projects. He's a projects branding consultant and organizing secretary for Boxing Promoters Association of Ghana. He will act as the committee's liaison and coordinator. Then there's Prince Azanu, is a national anti-doping officer for the National Sports Authority.
I see.
And he will act as stakeholder liaison for athlete welfare and technical advisor on anti-doping reforms. So these are the men who will now be managing Ghana boxing in the interim. Now their work is well cut out for them. Chart a new path for the Boxing Federation. Look, in terms of having a medical committee, that will be sorted out. Now that medical committee has its own responsibilities. Database for boxers, make sure the boxers are subjected to thorough testing. In fact, before all of these things will be done, the license of all the boxers will be revoked. Pending,
all boxers?
Yes, of course. Pending reassessment and reevaluation medically before their license will be given back to them. So, during this era, if you are not medically fit and you want to continue boxing, maybe you would have to look for another country and go and ply your trade. Because the new GBA will not allow any boxer who is not fit to enter the ring on any day to fight. Now we have new reforms in terms of policy direction, pre-bout, post-bout, fight contracts, promoters' responsibilities, promoters' duties. All of those things will now be streamlined properly. The GBA constitution itself will be looked at again. Okay? So by the time all of this is done, you now have a GBA that should be well organized and be one of those federations that you can compare to the GFA and the likes. You know, when it comes to organization, the most organized federation in Ghana.
Yep.
If you are looking for an example, you talk about the GFA in terms of the structure, in terms of how even the organs are respected by the constituent bodies. Okay. You want same for Ghana boxing.
Yep.
And I think that's it. All the things that haven't been done right, we will now see them being done well. Look, no more Achiagbeshi in our boxing. We will not see any Achiagbeshi fights these days. We will not see those mismatches. We would even get to a point where boxers, even their nutrition, boxers and their requirements in terms of what they eat, their diet and everything, will be regulated by policy. Or will be controlled by some of the recommendations and plans that will be put in place. So you will not find a boxer eating KK and fish in the morning, gari and beans in the afternoon, KK and fish in the evening.
Sporty
And they'll tell you, no. Thanks to this, professional boxers would have to adhere to almost everything that will not to the benefit of their health. So Nathan, me, I'm excited. Those who were against it for obvious reasons. They will not be benefiting from the crooked system as it used to be. But if I'm a boxing promoter, a credible one as that, I should be happy that these reforms are coming. I should be happy that a new body is in charge to turn around the fortunes of Ghana boxing. Because look, Nathan, if Ghana boxing does well, and we have our own Eddie Hen, won't you be excited?
Yeah.
If we have our own McIntyre being a coach producing world titles, won't you be excited?
Oh yeah.
If we have our own Riyadh season at the Bukum Boxing Arena or maybe at the Accra Sports Stadium, won't you be excited?
We'll be excited.
If we have our own professional league, well oiled, functioning properly, promoting the sport, won't you be excited? Later in the end, who benefits? Is it me and you?
All of us do, but largely the
Largely
people
it's the stakeholders.
the stakeholders.
Largely, it's the stakeholders. You and I, what we'll do is to go and report what we see. Really. We'll go and report for our station. But do we directly benefit financially from the sport?
No, not necessarily.
So I think that the stakeholders should be embracing this. Because this is a game changer. You see, if you are talking about real game-changing decision or real game-changing move, this is the game changer for Ghana boxing. So that tomorrow we can be talking about our Frank Warrens. We'll be talking about Eddie Hearn. We'll be talking about our old Don Kings. You know, when Sharaf Muhammad organized his boxing bout here, we saw that zone. Prior to that, how many times had we seen that zone in this country?
What are they coming to do here?
Okay, so there are opportunities. Big opportunities in that boxing space. And look, Nathan, we've not had a world champion for God knows how long. So if the likes of Kpaku Alote are climbing, are trying to get there, these boys need the best of everything at this point. And with all these reforms that are coming, it puts him in a good place, puts him in a good position to get the best of everything, to fight for a world title in that bantamweight division. It helps the boxers themselves. So, you see, nobody should think that what is happening is personal, or it's a personal agenda from Nayam Pofuanka, or a personal agenda from the minister, or nobody is against anybody. All what the system wants is a reform that makes the sport better.
Thank you.
It's as simple as that. So, we wish the committee well, and we hope that in the next 3 months, we'll quickly put things together with the support of the sports ministry, and we'll see the way forward. But I think, Nathan, this is a good call and it's a right step.
Can you just run us through the people on the committee again?
Okay.
Just so listeners know what we are talking about.
So there's Samuel Captain, who will be the chairman of the IMC. Azuma Nelson will be vice chairman and special technical advisor. Brigadier General retired. Nathan, Brigadier General retired. I don't say Brigadier General. It's a one-star general. You see, so when it comes to principles, let's do it right, let's do it well, let's do it in this order. Veteran boxing administrator, back in the day, you hear when Ghana boxing had roots in the army, he was one of the people who spearheaded some of those things. So when you have a Brigadier General retired on a committee like this, look, my brother, you know we are not joking here. There's Felix Corte, Esquire, renowned lawyer, spent 44 decades of service in the boxing fraternity. So we are talking about 40 years experience in the boxing fraternity here for this learned lawyer. Dr. Hadi Muhammad Abdullah, a renowned Ghanaian neurosurgeon at the Kolobu Teaching Hospital. Ofosu Asare, coach, veteran boxing trainer, multi-title winning coach. And Coach Asare is one of the coaches that, when you talk about amateur boxing, he's the most qualified. You can correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Yes, most of our amateur boxers went to the hands of Coach Asare.
Okay.
And then these days he handles Kpaku Alote.
Yeah.
And then you have Lester Ni Ama Kwatin, who's a financial consultant, a boxing promoter, and an investor. They have Patrick Johnson, Gideon Ayajo, and Prince Azano. All of them are part of the committee. Yeah. You want to get onto the phone line?
Yes. Let me go to the line. Eko Asma is joining us. Eko Asma is a senior in the work, and he's a boxing writer, so he knows his stuff when it comes to what they call the sweet science. Eko, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you doing today?
I do well. Good morning. Thank you for calling on me.
Wonderful. Your thoughts on the setting up of the IMC to handle Ghana boxing in the interim and then put things together for the next step. What do you make of this move made by the minister?
Thank you very much. I think it's very well timed in terms of the heavyweights. So it's well timed that we have, at this juncture when we've had 2 deaths in boxing in Ghana, the interim body taking over to put the guardrails in for including the elections for the next GBA board and presidency will be this much of I would say clash, a mixture of the titans. But you see, in Ghana, we are very good at being giants on paper. So they may be very competent. My only question I have is, are they going to be as committed as some of us have been to the national cause? But as to the composition, it looks great on paper. My question is, are they going to be as committed as we expect them to be?
Why?
I'm saying this,
Okay.
I'm saying this, having been a member of the committee that recommended for the interim body to be put in place.
Yes.
To begin with.
I just want to find out why, or what's the basis of your question. Why would that be your concern, their level of commitment? What could potentially be the challenge that they could likely face in terms of executing their work as members of the IMC?
Well, the work ethic of the typical Ghanaian worker is also always a problem, no matter how great the name looks on paper. And I've worked in Ghana, worked in the States, come back to work here. At whatever level, the work ethic is always suspect.
Sporty
That's my concern.
Okay.
And it showed up even in our committee work. So that's how come I know, however big the name may be, it doesn't matter. When it comes to the actual work, some people take leave of their responsibilities. They don't want to do their work, but they want the check, they want the publicity and all that, but they don't want to do the work.
Okay.
So this is insight that I'm giving you.
Okay.
It doesn't matter how great the name looks on paper. It doesn't matter. When it comes to the actual work, some people don't want to do the work, but they want the shine. They want the check, and they want the shine, they want all the publicity. But they don't want to put in the work. They do less than what they're supposed to do. So if they will all be committed, I've always been very committed in any endeavor, wherever I've worked, testimonies. I've killed myself for the team. But some people take leave of their responsibilities, don't want to do the work, but they just want the publicity and whatever comes with. So my only worry is this might continue with this committee too. So if it does, it will be a disservice to the people of Ghana.
Okay.
But on paper, it looks very, very good.
Okay. I mean, now that you've raised this concern, let me ask you, what do you think can be done to keep them on track and to ensure that truly they deliver on their mandate? What can we do? What can the minister do? What can be done to keep them on the straight and narrow so that ultimately the work is done and we all benefit from what they are supposed to do?
Fantastic question. The minister must ask them to take an oath and ask them to declare if they cannot do the work 100%, even though they have been introduced to the public, they can excuse themselves. If they know that they cannot commit 100% to it, in spite of the inauguration, they can ask to be excused so that they can find Nathan and Raymond to fill their spot.
we don't have the gravitas.
No, you get the gist though.
I get what you mean. I totally get what you mean.
The minister must require from each of them on one-on-one basis to commit 100%. If they know they cannot do 100%, even though they've been introduced to the public already, they can excuse themselves. If they can't give 100%, then it's okay. Thank you for wanting to help your country, but okay. Thanks, but no thanks.
Great. So going forward, Eko, how should the IMC handle possible opponents, people who might not want to cooperate? Because in the build-up to this, I'm sure you've seen the statements and the stance taken by some people who are against an IMC. There are some people who think this is absolutely unlawful and that Ghana boxing is being directed into a dark place. How should the IMC handle all of these stakeholders? Because somehow you need to get everybody on side and on board. How do they handle such those on the opposite side? How do they take care of them? How do they ensure that they are all on board and there won't be major disruptions to their work?
Well, to begin with, you see, this is not a commission. it was one of the difficulties we faced as a committee investigating the death of Oluwaju, Oluwasegun Olanrewaju. Because it's not a commission, they were not under any obligation to cooperate with us. However, they would look very bad if they did not, because in the eyes of the public, the public required them to cooperate fully, so we'll get to know the end of the matter. So they had to. Some would show up. Actually, one showed up with a lawyer.
Okay.
Others did not. None others showed up with a lawyer apart from that person. The others that didn't show up with a lawyer would duck some of the questions and claim that, well, I'm not here with a lawyer. And nobody stopped them from coming with a lawyer to begin with. So they came under the guise of fully cooperating, but they would dodge questions citing the absence of a lawyer.
Sporty FM.
Okay, so we found that most of them were not forthcoming, and it reflected in the recommendations that we put out. Some of the witnesses' conduct reflected in some of the recommendations we put out, because there are still some areas that we needed to recoup in terms of getting information into the public domain. So this committee really has a lot of work to do. They have a lot of work, and if you check their occupations, that's why I'm talking about the commitment. If you check their current occupations, they will have to commit a lot of time. Look, Nathan, sometimes we'll start meeting around 10 and leave around 11 p.m. Especially in the week before we submitted the report.
Yeah.
Constantly, we were leaving the ministry office after 11. The earliest was about 10:30. And even the day before we presented the report, we did 24 hours. The whole time, some went and took a little respite, but I was there for the whole 24 hours. So that's what I'm talking about. The competence is there. How about the time, the commitment? What if they have issues at work they have to deal with? So that it requires a lot of commitment. This is a big sacrifice. When you take this position, it's a sacrifice. Okay. So if you're not willing to sacrifice, then you should say thanks, but no thanks. That's what I was driving at, because it did affect our work. The way some of our people were not committed to the work did affect the work. Did affect some of us unjustly. Okay. Those of us who were willing to die for the cause, who were unduly punished by the lack of commitment by some of the members of the committee.
Okay.
So if we are not really committed to the work, it will create problems. And we have to understand that this is sacrifice. Whatever they have taken, this undertaking is a sacrifice on their part. So if they are not willing to pay the price, to sacrifice fully, then we might not get a best case scenario at the end of it.
All right.
Because I know of, the reason I'm saying this, I know of other people who were contacted who said no. No, because they won't be able to commit 100% to the call.
Okay.
They want to help, but it's such a sacrifice and there's such a demand on your time that they knew they couldn't commit to it. So they said, yes, we want to commit, we want to help, but we can't be on the committee. So there may be some people who will contribute from give input to the committee, the interim body.
Okay.
Who may otherwise have qualified to be on the committee, but they cannot commit that much of the time to it. It's a major sacrifice. So that's why I'm saying once you accept it, then you must do it. You must do it 100%.
Anyway, we'll see how it goes. Echo, thank you. Thank you so much for your thoughts.
So you guys should stand by. If some of them pull out there, you and Ray, you're on. Thank you too.
All right, Echo, thank you so much for your time and comments. That was senior sports journalist and boxing writer, Echo Asma Ray. So those are Echo's concerns. The commitment. Will the committee members have the time? Have they sectioned off time to do this? Will they have the time to go through? Because he says it can be quite demanding. It can be quite tasking.
Yeah.
Right? And it's a lot of work. You are basically trying to put Ghana boxing together. So it will require their commitment and their time and all. So for him, that's his major concern, because if there's no 100% commitment, the work won't get done well.
Correct.
And we can't take giant steps forward. So
yeah, I agree. I agree with Eko. I mean, he's done a bit of the work, so you know exactly what went on there. So, but I'm hoping that the committee will get the support they need. You know, with most of these things, there are still a few invisible hands who would put a lot of things together. There are a lot of people who would have to do some legwork and all here and there.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that they would get enough support from governments as they seek to push this agenda. And for me, I want to look at the big picture at the end and see that could be the motivator for most of them to want to give in their all and put in their best and show a lot of commitment. For Azuma Nelson, there's no bigger legacy for him and his career than to see to professional boxing in Ghana being run in a certain way where it's set on the path to produce world champions.
Yeah.
I mean, for him, he'll be proud of. These are moments he'll be proud of, even more than his own world titles he won. I'm sure it will be a proud moment for him. That would motivate him, or that should motivate him to want to aspire to see Ghana boxing at that level, you know, and with his connection and all. It's a moment to be proud of. That, well, yes, I helped change the face of Ghana boxing, and today, well, we have ABCD world champions. It adds a lot to his already huge reputation, you know. So there's enough motivation for everyone in there to put in a shift and to see boxing at the top. So we are hoping for the best. I mean, we are just hoping for the best. We'll keep our eye on the ground. We'll listen to them. We'll follow them.
This is
And
Sporty
where they need
FM,
support,
the voice of sports.
we'll give them support. Where we need to solve a problem, we'll solve it. And where we need to criticize them, we'll do that. I mean, just to make sure everything is done right.
Okay.
Yeah, later.
All right. My producers have put some people on. I choose to call them some people at that side, but some people who have concerns, right? Okay. Who have concerns. Alex Ntiamwa is a boxing promoter. He's CEO of Box Office Promotions. He's been in this boxing space for a very long time. Alex joins us on the line, and we'll get to find out. He does have some concerns. We'll get to find out what those concerns are, and we'll see where or how we're going to proceed. Alex, good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Welcome to the Sporty Breakfast on Sporty FM.
Good morning, brother.
How are you doing?
By God's grace, I'm doing well, and I believe you are also doing well.
Yes. We are fine, Alex. Thank you so much for joining us. Alex, you do have concerns. I'm told you have a few issues, with the latest developments in boxing and all. What are some of these concerns? What exactly are your challenges, or what don't you agree with in terms of the IMC, or in terms of some of the decisions that have been taken in relation to Ghana boxing?
Okay, first and foremost, I would like to greet all your listeners or every person watching, maybe via Facebook or whatever.
Yeah.
And also want to express my condolences to the family of Enesakushi Baobali and every person that is connected with him. Yes, I have a very big concern as an investor into professional boxing in Ghana. And not me alone, but almost all the members of the boxing fraternity, especially the Coaches Association, Boxers Association, Promoters Association, Matchmakers and Agents Association, Managers Association, Ring Officials Association. Almost all the stakeholders, the real stakeholders of Ghana boxing, have big concern about what has happened to Ghana boxing.
Okay, so you and the other stakeholders have issues. I just want you to detail what some of those concerns are, and maybe possibly how you think the IMC should address some of those concerns.
Okay, first and foremost, it's not about the IMC itself. It's about the we, the NSC and the Ministry of Sports and Recreation, conducted themselves when issues of death of boxer Baobali arise. Not only him, but with the committee report and the way and manner they want to implement it. First and foremost, when the boxer Gabriel Oluwasegun Olaruwaju died here in Ghana, there was a committee, 7-member committee, that was set up by the Minister of Sports and Recreation. Their job is to investigate the cause of death and how they can improve safety issues and other issues that boxing is facing. Actually, the autopsy report that came out that says that the boxer died through some exertion from underlying condition, meaning even if the boxer didn't die in the ring or elsewhere, he could have even died in his sleep because there is an underlying condition with him. Yes, boxing is a dangerous sport that people should know. So even boxers, when they are signing contracts, they know it's an hazardous sport and there is a possibility or is prone to fatal accident. That's the reason why when boxers are signing contracts, it's stated in it that they cannot, they have to indemnify the promoter, the boxing commission, and even sponsors and other people that are connected to the event. That is how boxing is. And moreover, because of these issues, safety and medical protocols are very, very important things that has to be taken care of. Previously, Kutenikwe, with his administration, didn't do things well, and so they found themselves in a certain corner. And so the 7-member committee recommended that it should be his boss should be taken off and replaced with an IMC to take over. One, by then, some of us have pressed that it should work in accordance with the GBA constitution, and for that matter, the rules and regulations. It didn't work with the GBA constitution. So even me, I went to court to challenge him that GBA has a constitution and his board was not set up in conformity with the GBA constitution because he has more co-opted members on the board for him to get his way all the time when there are decisions to be made. More so, there should be a doctor on the board who chairs the medical commission. And that is where he failed because there was no medical doctor on the board. So based on these things, even the judgment was that he should recompose the board to be in conformity with the constitution, way back before even this thing happened. So if he had listened to the judgment, he would have saved himself. But yet and again, there was some issue of contempt. I didn't want to press it because contempt is a quasi criminal case, and you need proof to be able to table it at court. So all these things are what plays into it that the 7-member committee recommended that it should be removed and replaced with IMC. But he did a noble thing by resigning. And once he resigned, the issue of somebody being in charge who is not ready to work with the laws and all that stuff has been solved. And so by the GBA constitution, it was Roger Bano who is next in line because he was the second vice president. The first vice president, by the way Kotenikwe conducted himself as a leader, he resigned. Rabondodo, he resigned 2 years into Kote's administration. And so the mantle fell on Roger Bano being the second vice president per the GBA constitution. And so when Kote resigned, Roger Bano took over and he recomposed the board to be in conformity with the constitution. And he brought on the board a medical doctor in the name of Dr. Etete Ayeti. He brought him on board and other people that are supposed to be on the board so that they can run Ghana boxing smoothly. After that, there were some fights that were done and in accordance with medical protocols and all other things. Yes, the report and the recommendation has to be worked on or to be implemented. We had meetings, we have had a couple of meetings with the National Sports Authority, chaired by the Director General, Mr. Yampofanka. We told him that yes, the IMC has recommended, the 7-member committee has recommended that we should have an IMC to take over boxing and to implement certain actions. But the issue of leadership, where there is a problem that warrants the IMC, we have solved that and we have passed that. So things have changed. We have now a new board in the, we have board in there that have the confidence of the stakeholders. So any implementation that you want to do, you need to work them so that they can implement. If you want to add some people like a committee, so that they can work hand in hand with them to come out with the best safety practice for the safety of our boxers in and out of the ring, we are ready to do that, and we are ready for any reformation that you want to bring on board. This has been our our position all the time. And you know, when you the recommendations, or for that matter, the report. Since May, that was the report was presented to the minister. The GBA as a board has never gotten a copy until when Baobali died, the day after or two, before they got the copy. So all this while, all the things that were in that report, the recommendations, we would have started something if there need be that other things should be done for safety of boxers. But yet and again, the Ghana Boxing Authority has rules and regulations which has covered everything in terms of medical protocols, safety protocols, and whatever. It's standard world over. And boxing, you know, even in Japan, 2 people died after a fight, a day or 2 after the fight, and it's connected with the boxing. We have a boxer, Duchi. He fought in the U.S. sometime back in the 1990s or something, in the 1990s. The opponent died. These are some of the things that happens. But when it happens, it should be within the remit of the Ghana Boxing Authority to manage it. If the NSC and the ministry are concerned, they need to call the GBA and then they work together hand in hand.
Okay, finish, please.
Now, the IMC that has been brought, it's more or less they have overthrown the GBA constitution. Because when Rojamano took over, he asked about a month for them to finish their term. And we went to Congress to endorse them for another 3 months. So now we don't know the reason why.
Okay,
I'm listening.
No. You finish. I when you said that, I had a question, but you finished. So then I can ask.
So we went to Congress and gave them 3 months so that they can work hand in hand with the NSC to be able to implement the recommendations, so that they can also prepare the grounds for elections, so that we can have substantive GBA board, and they can continue. You know, safety issue is not an event. It's a process and continuous thing that has to be done. You know, even in the GBA manual or the rules and regulations, that we call it the Green Book, there is a provision there, rule number 36, and at page 54. When you look at, when I finish, I'll send you a copy if you can show it to your audience. When you look at it, they have a provision when there is a fatal accident in boxing, they set up investigative committee to look into it, what happened, so that when they finish with the report, they give it to the GBA board, so at the end of the day, they can work on it to improve safety protocols. And that is how it is. In Japan, when this thing happens, they used to have 12 rounds for their national title. Now they have reduced it to 10 rounds. Even some time back, because of injuries and issues of accidents, boxing was 16 rounds, but it was reduced to 12 rounds. These are some of the things. And even acting President Rujabando suggested that elsewhere, people that are starting boxing start with 4-rounder, but Ghana is 6 rounds. So we should adopt it so that we can start the 4-rounder here in Ghana. So the impact on the boxers and all that stuff can be lessened, so that we can have a safety environment for our boxers in and out of the ring.
Okay, all right. Interesting points you've raised. My colleague Raymond Yamado is here. He says he has a question. So the next voice you hear will be that of Raymond.
Mr. Ntiama, quick one. When during the tenure of Mr. Nikwe, were you still having promotions or having boxers fighting at boxing events in Bukum? Were you still having? So were you comfortable with the arrangements pre-fights, especially knowing very well there was no ringside physician and all, there was a nurse who was acting as a doctor and all. Were you comfortable with those arrangements?
Okay, that was the reason why most of the time I had problem with Kuteni with the way he has composed the GBA board, because there was no doctor on the board. But because I understand this, because most of the time when I promote, I have some of the boxers who are boxers that I do manage myself. And you know, I am not just an investor or somebody that is making business out of boxing, but I'm somebody who was born in Bukum. I lived there, and I came into boxing by having some of my friends who are not having fights. And so I came into boxing as a promoter. So there is a humanitarian feeling there for me to be in boxing, not necessarily to make big money there. So I'm very much concerned about the boxers' safety.
Yes.
So I have this Dr. Tete that I mentioned his name. I've been consulting him, and even on fight night, I have Dr. Azu, who I on my own arrangement. I bring him to the ringside so that he takes care of the box. Though the GBA uses the nurse, the paramedics are there, and I have to add that doctor there to work on the night so that he shall be at the arena to work as a doctor. So that is what I've been doing. If I can do it, some other people may not do it. They may not do it. That was the reason why I had problem with the Nikwe administration.
So the problems you had with Mr. Nikwe, what did you do? What steps did you take to make sure boxers who came to fight on fight nights were safe or safer or given better medical checks before bouts, in bouts, and after bouts? What steps did you take as Mr. Ntiamwa, the promoter, to make sure Mr. Nikwe did exactly what had to be done per the rules of boxing and per best practices?
Okay, let me explain something to you. Mr. Kote Nikwe, not only about the medical aspect, but the way he conducted himself in terms of leader. His leadership with the GB, leadership style with the GB, he has co-opted more than what was supposed to be on the board. And he uses it to outweigh all the decisions on the board so that he can have his way. And I think it's bad for boxing. So that is one thing I went to him and I spoke to him about, to do things in the right way. Based on that, he grew some animosity against me. And so I know that when I'm promoting, even not because of that, but all the time I know when we had Dr. Kwe on the board, he made sure all the time you have to do the medicals as it's supposed to be done. And I know because of the animosity Kwe has grown for me, there is no way I can have a promotion whereby the boxers will not go through the rigorous rudiment of having their medical checks up. Normally, we do the blood test, which is HIV 1 and 2. It's supposed to be negative. You need to have hepatitis B and C, need to be negative. That is what we do, and then we do eye test and all that stuff. When a boxer is knocked out cold, before he gets back into the ring, it's supposed to be 90 days, after 90 days. And that one, you need to bring an MRI. When a boxer is knocked and is normal, maybe KO, between 28 to 45 days before he can come back. All these protocols are followed, and I make sure, and I've been advising most of the promoters, because I'm the president of the Promoters Association, and I've been advising most of the promoters. Some of the promoters will call me, Charlie, and I've been telling them, boxing is more or less like a license to kill. If you do everything right, and something happens, you be free. But if you don't do it right and something happens, you might lose your license and you can even go to jail. So these are some of the advice that I've been giving to promoters at all times. And I make sure that the paramedics are there all the time. I made arrangements for the ambulance services and the paramedics that have been coming to the arena. And you can ask Mr. Dwai is one person that has been coming. Because when you go to the medical, how do you call it, the ambulance service to have them. The money is very, very high. So I made that arrangement with the GB, and they brought him, and at all times they are ready to work at a fee that is comfortable for the
Mr. Ntiama.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people have said that you yourself, you have been part of the problem of Ghana boxing.
What is the problem? You can elaborate on the problem, and I can explain.
They say you, Mr. Ntiama, force young boxers at amateur level, you force them to turn pro early, only for them to lose their way in boxing and end up becoming boxers who now serve as Achiagbeshi boxers. What do you have to say about these allegations?
It's never true. Let me explain this thing to you.
Okay.
I do manage boxer called Joseph Komi, aka Jaguar. Joseph Komi was part of the national team at a point in time when Samuel Tichi came from the how do you call it, the Tokyo Olympic
Games. Yeah.
He decided to turn pro, and then Joseph Komi, his senior brother, was there, who was supposed to travel, and he died, and so Tichi got the chance.
Okay.
When Tichi came, Tichi turned pro, and Komi was part of the team. But when they were to go for the Olympic qualifier and the African Games, they had wanted to they brought Tichi back to the team. The boy was not happy. He was more or less like relegated, and Tichi took over. Even we were asking that there should be competition between them. And we know that is better than Tichi when it comes to the amateur team. So we were pushing for the, how do you call it, for a competition to happen so that we can have the slot for who qualifies. But they didn't do that. He said, I had information from the team management that there were pressures from the ministry for Tichi to be put there. But we requested it couldn't happen. So the boy decided that he even wanted to turn pro. He was my boy at the amateur level. I was the one taking care of him. I was the one taking care of him at the amateur level. Okay. I advised him that boxing, you need to go through the mills before you can come out, and then you can achieve better. So he should use the amateur to prepare himself well. So at the end of the day, when it comes to the pro, he's ripe for the pro. So I did that. And not him alone. There are a lot of boxers who are not happy about the way even Ghana amateur boxing is going. And they have complained to me that they want to turn pro. I've advised them to stay at the amateur level to hone their skills there before they should come out to this thing. There was one of the there are number of boxers like Amadou. He's there. He has been coming to me. Mohamed Ahmad, he has been coming to me. Tells me, manager, promoter. We don't have a clear way seeing what is happening with the amateur. I want to think, I told you, no. Now we don't have much of the experienced people at the amateur level. You have to remain there. So there's never at a time that I've taken a boxer from amateur and turning pro and he has become Achiagbeshi. Never.
Okay.
But are you part, you know, again, the allegations that have come up against you, they say you are part of an Achiagbeshi syndicate when it comes to boxing promotions in Ghana.
When somebody say Achiagbeshi syndicate and all that stuff, I don't understand. One, if you go into history, all the best boxing that have been done in Ghana is synonymous with box office sports promotion. And I have been the top promoter over the years, promoting all the big fights out there. So when somebody comes out with these kind of things, it's not true. Let me tell you this. When you go outside, everywhere in the world, we have journeymen, people who are boxers, but they have other day jobs, and they are more concerned with their day jobs than the boxing. So some of them, when you are turning your, when boxers are turning pro for the first time, they don't need to fight the big, the fierce opponent. They have to start slowly, like you are showing somebody how to drive at the pro level. You need to give them people with records that are not too bad for them, not too high for them, and little by little, everywhere you can check all the world champions, their records when they start fighting. They have been fighting with boxers who have lost maybe 20 and has won 4 fights and all those stuff. We have those people there. And they are part of the boxing ecosystem, and they come to fight. And these people, when they come to fight, they give the boxers good fight. If you are not prepared, they will beat you and get their records, and then next side they will take a better fight.
I see. Alex, but you just said something really interesting that, for example, there could be boxers with more losses than wins. I mean, for such a boxer, how much of a credible challenge is he going to give another boxer or a boxer who's up and coming? I mean, and you get the question I'm asking. I mean, if you've lost more fights than you've won.
That's the reason why I'm saying it's about experience. It's not only about the losses. It's about the experience. Those people that you see with the more losses that they have in their records, if you are not careful, you'll be surprised. So you can check Joshua Clottey. He fought against a boxer who has lost 98 and has won about 6 or 10 about 6 or 10 fights, and he has lost 98. He fought against him in the UK. That same boxer, Ricky Hatton, fought him, and he became world champion. Joshua Clottey became world champion. You can check from other boxers that have become world champion. Their records, Mayweather, Oscar De La Hoya, you can check from their records. So boxing is not about when you come and you are a good boxer, then they give you somebody with 20-0 and you are a new boxer coming. It's mismatch. It's never accepted anywhere.
So you'd rather?
Let me give you an example. Like my boy Joseph Komi. He was a Commonwealth silver medalist.
Yes.
And African Games gold medalist. I made him to remain in the amateur to own his skill, and I believe he's one of the elite amateur boxers. When he came to his first fight, he fought for a title. He fought for UBU African title. And he fought against a boxer who is experienced, a boxer who has fought this guy, Keishon Davis, before. He fought against him in the name of Richmond Ashley. He fought against him in his first fight. His third fight that he fought against a boxer with 12-1, who has won 12 and he has lost just 1 bout.
Yeah.
He fought against him. And it was also a national championship. So it depends on the level of the boxer and the way you introduce him, and you can check the world over. You can bring a boxer coming to fight his first fight or his second fight, and you give him a boxer who has 10-0 to fight him. It's a mismatch. So you have to get some boxers who are short, maybe he has lost more, but he has experience, to give them challenge. And we've been seeing sometime at the boxing arena, boxers coming to challenge people and upset them with their bad record, but they upset the people with a good record.
But those ones happen once a while, right? Where a boxer with a very bad record wins the bout. 9 times out of 10, the boxers
not only in Ghana, everywhere in the world, people with bad record sometimes surprises people with a good record. You can check Basti Samer. He fought in the US.
Yeah.
Check Basti Samer's record. He fought in the US with somebody that in Ghana we call him Achiagwishi. He won against Basti Samer.
Okay, but so Alex, so from what you're saying, Achiagwishi exists, right? It exists in boxing, yes?
It depends on the term that you want to use. But when you go elsewhere, they are called journeymen.
They are called journeymen. But here we choose to call it Achiagwishi.
Because we know that they are B-side. We know that they are B-side.
They are B-side boxers.
Maybe B or C-side. So that you have the A-side and the B-side or the C-side. That is how it is. We have, if you come into football, I know some people within my community. When I know them since, they have always been playing at Division 3 or Division 2. They will help you to come to win the league or to get promoted to the next level, and then they will leave you. They will go to another place, and they have other jobs that they do.
Okay,
but they are part and parcel of the ecosystem, and that is how you can be able to have the sport of boxing moving forward.
All right, Alex, just finally, we are here. Yesterday, the IMC was set up. has been tasked to reform Ghana boxing and then ultimately hand over elections and all. If you had, let's say, one piece of advice for the IMC, what would you tell them? What's that one thing you personally would want to see changed when it comes to the future of Ghana boxing? What's that one big improvement you want to see in Ghana boxing?
For me, I want the safety of the boxers in before, in, and after the fight, for them to be safe. Because if they are safe always, we will have our business as boxing all the time. That is one thing. But like I said, boxing safety is not an event, but it's a process. When I told you about GBA, Rhoda says there should be an investigative committee to take into consideration if there is a fatal accident in boxing. The first thing that the investigative committee is to look at is the childhood nutrition or the nutrition of the boxer. Today we have the boxers at the amateur level. They are training, they walk on their legs to the stadium to train. They don't have even one meal at the stadium after their training. And when they come home, they have to go and roam and search for food to eat before even they will go to their various gyms. And then they will be following some people that they call them their bosses, who sometimes they will be going to pubs and bars and they will stay there late in the night. And for them to follow them to get some money for the next meal next day, they'll be staying late in the night, and early in the morning they wake up and go to the stadium. These are some of the things that will affect their health, and it's not safe for the boxers. Apart from that, in the gyms, the way sparrings are conducted, when you go to certain gyms within the Bukom area or Koligono and other places, there are no rings there with good padding. When the boxer fall, it will be a disaster. And these people have been since time immemorial. These people have been training and sparring there, and people have been falling and all that stuff. So people can, have a lot of issues even before they turn pro. So this is not only for the professional boxing people to have an IMC to come and look into this. They can't do anything about it. There should be a mass support from the ministry and the NSC to be able to solve these problems. And then there should be good education to go into the boxers, the coaches, and what have you, so that we can prepare them for safety. But I have very, very big concern. GBA, as I've said, has a constitution, and GBA has a board that is in place. Bringing in an IMC is like overthrowing a coup d'etat of the GBA constitution, and that is one thing that shouldn't happen. The authorities can work hand in hand with the GBA board, and for me, I'm not happy about it at all. We went to the minister yesterday, we discussed with him. Yes, he has gone ahead to inaugurate the IMC.
Yeah.
But still, we have to go back to talk to them for the proper thing to be done, for them to work with the GBA to restore the GBA board, for them to work hand in hand with them. Or we have to recompose the whole board and go to Congress to endorse them so that it can be legal. Because the NSA power, the NSA has some powers, but it's limited to certain level. By the LI 2477, that's the regulations of sports in Ghana, that empowers the NSA. They have the power to license each and every sports association.
Which means that they also have the power to take away your license when they don't think you are doing things right.
You are jumping the gun. So what I'm saying is their power is limited of revoking their license so that the right thing should be done, and they cannot revoke it without any good reason. They should have good reason to do so. If they feel that safety issues are what is bothering the GBA or the boxing fraternity, they can sit down with the GBA board to tell them that we need you to have a medical commission, that we can have somebody on that so that we can monitor your activities to make sure that all the proper medical protocols are there too. And even on boxing nights, there should be medical doctors to take care of the boxers. And after the fight, the boxers should be checked so that at the end of the day, the boxers will be safe. If you are able to come into terms with us like this, we will continue to have. We will give you your license to continue your association. If not, then we will hold the license. That is where they have the power, but they don't have the power to impose members on the fraternity. It's because you need to have the power to appoint before you can have power to disappoint. So for there, they have heard, and I think it's not a proper thing. We are ready to work with them with whatever reforms that they want to bring on board. And we are going back to the table to sit with them so that we can see how we can recompose the board that they have formed and the one that is existing to come together so that we can go to Congress to endorse all of them so that they can work hand in hand.
All right.
Other than that, we will be compelled to use all civil means to make sure the proper thing is done.
All right, Alex, thank you. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for speaking with us. We wish you the very best, and I'm sure we'll speak again soon.
Oh, thank you very much.
All right, that was Alex Ntiamwa, CEO of Box Office Promotions. One of the more established ones in Ghana. Ray, Box Office did Banku and Powers 1. Yeah, I think so. They did Banku and Powers 1. My producer, I'm sure you can check that. Banku and Powers 1. And they've done other bouts as well, you know. So Alex Ntiamwa, he also shares safety concerns, right? But he believes that he has an issue with procedure. He says that, you know, why should there be an IMC? You know, the IMC means that you are almost kind of kicking the GBA's constitution out of the window and all of that. He doesn't think is right. He thinks legally there's an issue. Says they've tabled their concerns to the minister. We'll see where it goes. But it looks like the minister has determined the next step, right?
Of course.
There's the IMC. Whatever happens after the IMC does this work, it almost like we go back to ground zero.
Yeah.
And then we look at everything and we construct again.
That's
right?
right.
There will be elections, people will come in. Just like we had normalization in football, people will come in, they run boxing, and then we see where it goes. So those are some comments. Let me read some comments or a comment I got. Okay, this one is on the committee and then this Achiabeshi business.
Okay.
This one says, I like the composition of the committee. There is no one better to lead than Mr. Captain. He's highly principled and sticks to the rules. I have worked and I know a lot of them. Mr. Quarty has a lot to offer. I pray they succeed. This is the right way to go. We need to get it right this time. We need Ghana boxing to work again. No one should die because of boxing in 2025. The sport has come too far for anyone to normalize such avoidable deaths. Then the person goes on to say, regards to Raymond and thank him for the advocacy. All right?
Yeah.
And then on the bit about the Achiabeshi thing, the person said, Alex is right. Boxers are built over time. Those journeymen are part of the ecosystem. We use them to build the boxers. These are the people we have labeled Achiabeshi. They exist everywhere. The issue here is most of these journeymen don't prepare well. They mostly don't give our boxers the needed competition and prep. After one round, they are unable to compete. That should be the focus.
Okay.
So this came from somebody who's highly placed in boxing. Thank you so much for this. I won't tell you who it is, but I'm sure you know.
Yeah, sure. So, you know, so that is it. That is Achiabeshi.
The idea of the journeyman is not, it exists. That is true.
Yes. The journeyman, yes, of course. But the journeymen give you proper competition. Most of them give you proper competition. But these ones, Charlie, they'll give you a boxer, 30 fights, no win.
All losses.
All losses. And they put you in the ring with
such a boxer, he won't help you.
A lot of that happens here. That's what we call the Achiabeshi. And we are telling them, look, that is what has robbed us of getting proper and credible world champions. You get it? Yeah, so, I mean, That is it. It is.
Because you put our boxers in the ring with somebody with 20 losses, 25 losses, 30 losses. The boxer wins. He probably thinks he's good. Then he comes up against a proper journeyman, not even somebody who's an A-list boxer, but somebody who is sound. And there we find our boxers struggling to deal with them because now they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
They haven't been tested, they haven't been prepped, they haven't been quote unquote cooked properly. And now they go into the ring with a boxer whose skill level is very appreciable or almost decent, and that's it. You can't beat them, you can't defeat them. And as you say, it robs us, really robs us of the opportunity to do big things in the ring. So that's where we are. The minister has set up the committee. We'll give them our support. We'll keep an eye on what they do. And we also pray that it works. All right, 9:27. Let me read these announcements. And then we talk some Champions League. You can equally send us some messages. Some messages have come in. I'll touch on them in a bit. Between October 3 and 11, the corporate tennis tournament is happening. If you signed up your company or your office by the 28th of September, you've done well. You've done the Lord's work. So get ready, train hard, and see if you can win singles, doubles, or mixed doubles. And there's also the special CEO's challenge. All of that is happening at the Ghana Tennis Club at Abraka from October 3 to 11, 2025. Monday to Friday, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. And then on Saturday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. If you want more info, you can send a message or call 055 555 5700 or follow them at CORP Tennis GH, Corp Tennis GH on Facebook, Instagram, and on X. The corporate tennis tournament is sponsored by MTN, Kivo, Old Mutual, Hollard Insurance, and Bedrifton Consultancy, and supported by Equity Health Insurance, Reese & Co, Decem Juices, Suvad Transport and Logistics, V Tickets, and Fine Natural Mineral Water. Media partners: Sporty FM, Joy Sports, Ghana Web, GTV Sports, Metro TV, Obonu TV, Graphic Coms, Original FM, MyNewsGH.com, The Brew Show, and Asase 99.5 Accra. MTN is giving you MTN free after one extra. You can talk for 1 whole hour uninterrupted while paying only the first 10 minutes of every 10 minutes you talk, which means for every 10 minutes you talk within the hour, you only pay for the first minute and you get to talk for 60 minutes straight without interruptions. You can also get 100 MB of data for free after your first call on Saturday. So it's now time to talk extra. It's now time to talk and talk and talk with your paddies, your boys, girls, and everybody. To subscribe to MTN free after one extra, just dial star 550 hash, and follow the prompts, and there you go. This is still the Sporty Breakfast. You can send in your comment 054 257 1061. 054 257 1061. The UEFA Champions League is back tonight. All kinds of interesting matches are happening. Let me run through the full fixture list and then we can have a quick chat on that. Atalanta take on Club Brugge. Kamaldeen Sulemana is in form. He scored 2 goals. So tonight we'll see him. Ray, Kamaldeen is pushing hard.
Star boy.
Yeah.
So I think he's doing well.
Yeah.
He's improved.
He started well.
Goals give players confidence. Yeah. And so a couple more assists. And you now begin to feel he's the man.
That's it. Atalanta take on Club Brugge. Kairat Almaty face Real Madrid. Those 2 games are at 15-5 or 4:45. The 7 p.m. games, Atletico Madrid versus Eintracht Frankfurt. Atletico are feeling really high after beating Real Madrid. Bodo Glimt take on Tottenham Hotspur. Bodo Glimt at home is always an interesting fixture. Chelsea Benfica, which I think is the star game of the evening for very obvious reasons. Galatasaray welcome Liverpool. Inter Milan face Slavia Prague. Marseille take on Ajax, and Paphos face Bayern Munich in that encounter. Michael Azarbedu is joining us on the line. Michael, good morning. How are you doing today?
Good morning, guys. I'm good. How about you?
Yes, we are fine. We are fine. Thank you so much for joining us. Why am I even asking you which game are you interested? There's only one game we should be talking about. It's Jose Mourinho's return to Stamford Bridge. He's bringing Benfica to West London, and he's taking on the club everybody still remembers him by, Chelsea FC. Chelsea FC are many years away from the Jose time, but it's a very interesting relationship. Your thoughts on this? Chelsea have to respond to the weekend's home loss at Brighton. They play at home again, but this time they take on Benfica, who themselves have a very interesting Champions League run. Last season was okay. This season they've started off not too good, but there's Jose Mourinho in the mix, and I guess he will be the talking point all game. Your thoughts on this one? Chelsea v Benfica at Stamford Bridge tonight at 7 p.m.
Well, I think Mourinho lives for moments like this. He basically wants to be in the spotlight. The talk should be much more about him, and I think this fits the narrative perfectly. He just joined Benfica. He's unbeaten, and then in his first Champions League game with the side, he has to face a team that he made his name with, that is Chelsea, and he's Chelsea's most successful manager. So the pre-match talk and everything have centered about how Chelsea will welcome him, and also to the football on the pitch. I think these are two teams who haven't really had a very great season. Chelsea were unbeaten until they met Manchester United, and it looks like they've never recovered from that. In the last 5 games, they've won just one. And strikingly, that win came against Lincoln City, which is a lower tier side. So it means, as regards the top flight games in the Champions League or in the Premier League, Chelsea are without a win in 4. For Benfica, Mourinho is unbeaten, but you would have to look at the 2 wins and just start drawing between, and you think that they should have done better. And don't forget, they also lost their first Champions League game. So it kind of makes this encounter very exciting or interesting. And a lot of people will be hoping to see how this will pan out. But I think on paper, Chelsea have the best team. Despite everything that is going on in their camp, they possess the team to go out there and get that win, just to ensure that confidence will be restored and then Maresca will be able to deflect some pressure off his side. They are very young, not so experienced, not so matured, but I believe that everything that transpired in the game against Bayern Munich will offer them some 1 or 2 lessons and will help them to improve. For Benfica, I think they also have a decent team. On any given day, they can trouble any opponent. But the question is, will that be enough to get them a shocking result at Stamford Bridge, which will be a win? And I think they don't have it. Mourinho's coaching, Benfica's playing squad, they don't have what it takes to go to Stamford Bridge and then shock Chelsea. Well, there will be some 1 or 2 weaknesses in the Chelsea team. If you look at the playing body and the central defensive area, for instance, Chalobah was red carded in the Premier League, but he's eligible to play in this game. Who gets to partner him? Will it be the inexperienced Trusty Champon, or will Enzo Maresca want to try an untested player in someone like Joel Hato? So these are the crucial decisions that need to be taken. But I think apart from the central defensive area, for every department, Chelsea will stand tall against Benfica, and I'm tipping them to get that win against the Benfica side. They played an interesting game in the Club World Cup. It was 1-0 at the point. Then they had to postpone the game for over 4 hours until a return, and Chelsea had to eventually win by 4-1. I am thinking this game will be shorn of any kind of event like that, but I believe Chelsea will go out there, get a win, and then they will register their first 3 points of the league phase.
Kelvin Oswasa is back. Kelvin, interesting context, right? Jose Mourinho goes back to Chelsea, all the romanticized talk and everything. But Kelvin, Mourinho's run against Chelsea ever since he left is not the best. He's drawn 3 and lost 4. He's winless in his last 7 head-to-head against Chelsea. So it's not a great record at all. We can talk about the drama and stories and everything. His head-to-head against Chelsea is not the best. He hasn't won against this Chelsea team ever since he left.
And he's handling a team who also have a very poor record against, English oppositions. In the last 8 times that they've played, they've lost 5 times and then settled for 3 draws, which doesn't give any sort of encouragement and confidence that yes, they can actually match, the quality that Chelsea would offer this evening. But if anything is to go by, you look at the teams that have played against Chelsea and the kind of performance that they've put up, and then it gives you, that assurance that there's that ability to try get a point away from this game. Enzo Maresca will not be looking at what happened at the Club World Cup, which he made mention of that. Yes, that is a different game altogether, and Benfica being handled by a new manager, a manager who understands how it is to play when it comes to Europe. Unfortunately, his team, his Turkish side, Galatasaray couldn't,
he was a
Fenerbahce, couldn't offer him, because of his banter with Toshimen. Every time it confuses. But ever since taking over this team, he's managed to have 2 victories, 2 wins, a draw in his first 3 games. And that has given Benfica some element of confidence that, come on, this is a manager who understands, he knows what to do. And let's not forget, the Benfica team is not like a team that has been robbed of, quality so much. They have experienced players who have plied their trade across Europe for a number of years. So if there is Mourinho in charge, it should tell you that Chelsea themselves are not in a very good place at the moment. They are not in the best of forms. So if a team handled by Mourinho, even if he's bringing whether it's Anticotok or any other club, it would yes, but even if it's Bodo Glimt, it would have given some sort of confidence to the team that yes, we have a manager, a man who knows how to get results in critical moments. So I think it's up to Chelsea that with the quality that they have, with the weapons that they possess, they will make it difficult for Jose to grab all 3 points. But from the way things have happened in the last couple of weeks, I think that, Mourinho and Benfica can just snap, a draw from this particular game. If it ends in a draw, I wouldn't be surprised. Chelsea are playing under pressure. They lost their first Champions League, game.
Yeah.
Now playing against Benfica after they lost over the weekend in bizarre circumstances clearly tells you that.
But don't you think that the circumstances almost come together to force Chelsea to play for a result?
And yes, they will be playing for a result, but they will be under pressure, just like it happened over the weekend. Under pressure, Mourinho knows that. Come on, I have a Chelsea defense who are press trigger. You press trigger regimes, and surprisingly, he seems to be giving balls away.
Yeah, I saw that over the weekend.
Yes, the likes of
surprised.
Chalobah, and Sanchez isn't the most comfortable goalkeeper you would pass the ball to, and so Mourinho is going to actually base on this. And this is a Mourinho who has one profile of a striker he loves in Pavlidis.
Yeah.
Stay up there, let us work the ball and feed you with the ball. So he will be very much comfortable with this kind of setup that will be provided by Benfica this evening. Maybe Chelsea, with their quality, like I said, should be able to have individual players stand up to the occasion. But how many times have those guys been able to, snap up that opportunity? This evening, they expect Romeo Lavia and then Enzo Fernandez to be in that midfield. Estevao, and then Pedro Neto in there. I'm waiting to see if there could be any changes up front, because Chelsea have a problem as to whether who to keep up, who to keep on the side, and all that. So that is the advantage that will come to Jose Mourinho. And looking at how he's deployed Richard Rios and then Enzo Baranechia or something, that yes. They would give Chelsea lots of questions to answer, just like it happened over the weekend where it was just left to right center from Keith Andrews' side, dismantling and playing the ball to Igor Thiago to get in the goals. So wait to see how things will pan out. But just like I've said, I don't see how Chelsea will run riot over Benfica. Even if it's going to be a win, it's going to be a marginal victory. But I see a draw as the topmost possibility.
Well, we'll see. For me, Mourinho's winless record against Chelsea is a key point of interest. I wonder how he can turn it around this evening. But Kelvin is right. Chelsea are playing under pressure. They will have to go and get a result, and they will have to do so without a few of their important players. Yeah. Michael, Cole Palmer is not available, I believe. I don't think he's recovered.
Okay. Sorry, Cole Palmer won't be playing. He's not available. As well as the central defenders like Fofana and Levi Cole. Chelsea have left an injury list, but I think it is that bad for the defense, but for the attack, it won't necessarily be a problem. I think Maresca already knows the attackers who won't be available. Kopama is out, but there is Estevao, there is João Pedro, there is Pedro Neto, Jamie Bino getting. So he still has a good selection or good options to select players from to fill that void.
Let's talk about, I don't know which other games also are of interest to you. Michael, which other game will you be focusing on tonight in terms of the Champions League?
I think the next one will be in Turkey, Galatasaray versus
yes. That sounds
Liverpool.
Finish,
finish
please.
Liverpool lost their first game of the season to Crystal Palace, and they'll be hoping to bounce back. And I think there's one thing that many will be looking forward to, how Ekitike plays in this Liverpool setup. He didn't play in that Premier League, and there's been talk about Isaac not being ready. But I think the fundamental issue is, when will Florian Wirtz settle and then play like the Wirtz that we knew at Bayer Leverkusen in the Bundesliga and also in the Champions League? I think for the Premier League, it will take him some time to settle in. But for the Champions League, it is a terrain he knows well. He's played with Leverkusen in Europe, so he has some experience in terms of how these European games are like. And so I will want him to step up in games like this. Some of us will agree if he has to take time to adapt to the intensity and the physicality of the Premier League. But I think for the Champions League, he should play and do well, because a team does not cough up 150 million euros to sign you, and then you tell us that you will not settle and then have an instant impact. I don't think the longer this drags, it is good for the player and it's also good for Liverpool. The headlines will be generated around why he's basically ghosted off the scene. He's not really impacted the scene as expected. So I think he needs to take games like this and then deliver for some of us who support him to also enjoy. But that aside, Liverpool would need to give a response to their fans. And in a game of this nature, they will need to show that, yes, Galatasaray are bossing Turkey, but if you come to Europe, they are not really a behemoth. They've not really asserted their dominance there. They are the most experienced Turkish side as regards the Champions League. But then again, you will have to look at how they've impacted the competition, and it's basically not been there. But one thing that makes me want to believe that they could actually have a say in what happens tonight is that when they play at home, they are different animal. They are mostly charged, they play differently, and the atmosphere that is created by their fans gives them the necessary impetus to drive forward and do what they do. So it will be a different Galatasaray from the one we witnessed on match day 1. And how will Liverpool handle that atmosphere? How will they handle such euphoria? I think it will be crucial to the kind of response that they give. But it should be an exciting game full of goals. Galatasaray boasts of some of the best players who, even though might be past their prime, but can also offer magic on a night like this. Okay, Gundogan, Manchester City player, knows what it takes to play games against Liverpool. Leroy Sané, also a former Manchester City player, also has had a taste of what it takes to play against Liverpool. Then they also have some interesting players who've had stints in England and also across Europe before. Mauro Icardi, Victor Osimhen is fit. There is Gabriel Sara And so I think that Galatasaray have a decent squad. And if they play to their strengths, they will actually trouble Liverpool, who are not that resolute defensively. But I think overall, Arne Slot should be able to devise a plan, a strategy that gets Liverpool the maximum points against Galatasaray. I'm looking at the two teams getting on the score sheet, and then maybe Liverpool Legenders.
Okay.
So maybe a 3-2-2-1 result is something that I envisage happening.
Okay.
I tip Liverpool to get that positive response after the disappointing result against Crystal Palace over the weekend.
Yeah, Kelvin.
Well, Nathan, the Crystal Palace result is a test case that other clubs will look at and then, decide to act on, especially that midfield display by Hughes and then especially Adam Wharton, who started the game. Now, what Galatasaray have in that midfield is a very workaholic Mario Lemina and Lucas Torreira. Which means Liverpool
those guys have
exactly.
They
would have to
lungs.
break that wall. In breaking that wall, they will be thinking about the laterals, where Michael mentioned Leroy Sané. Now you'd have to deal with him and the intelligence of Ilkay Gundogan in finding Mauro Icardi or Victor Osimhen, depending on whether Yunus wants to start. And then on the right hand side there is Agun. And you look at Liverpool, and I think that gradually, if Mohamed Salah is cut off the radar, it becomes difficult for the others to actually, impose their game. I don't understand why McAllister is not having, too much game time in the last couple of games. And it looks like that sort of midfield partnership formed with Dominic Szoboszlai, Gravenberch last season seems to have some chips off it. If that is going to continue, coupled with the defensive disarray that we see every now and then, Konate plays and you don't have confidence that you'd have a clean sheet. Jeremy Frimpong, that he's a suspect on the right hand side. Kerkesh hasn't given that confidence. Robertson is not at his very best. So if you look at the Liverpool team, they still have lots of lapses, and that test case is from the midfield, which I would want to see.
Okay.
If they're able to pass that test, then fine. But if Lucas Torreira in his animated form playing at home, Mario Lemina decides to put on his A game, then Liverpool could be headed for a doom. But I still tip them to have that advantage to bounce back, because you look at Liverpool's next batch of matches and it doesn't look interesting for them. They won't be happy dropping any more points, whether it's the league or the Champions League. So they'll be going all guns blazing, and that is why I expect this fixture to be a very feisty one. But they stand, a slight edge over the Galatasaray team.
You mentioned Liverpool's next two games. They play Chelsea and Man United in the league back to back. Chelsea on the 4th, Man United on the 19th, Frankfurt on the 22nd in the Champions League, Brentford away from home.
Exactly.
And then they take on Palace to round up October in the EFL Cup.
Yeah.
So
it's not looking very easy for them at all. And just after that, they play Aston Villa and they play Manchester City.
So it doesn't
look interesting for them.
It's a tough time for Liverpool, but let's see. So listeners, that's how the Champions League calendar looks like tonight. Quickly, I'm just run through the games and then we touch on the under-17s. Atalanta versus Club Brugge, Kairat Almaty versus Real Madrid. Real Madrid have to travel almost to China to play that game.
Yeah.
Atletico Madrid versus Frankfurt, Bodo Glimt versus Spurs, Chelsea versus Benfica, Galatasaray take on Liverpool, Inter Milan face Slavia Prague, Marseille welcome Ajax, and Pafos face Bayern Munich. All right, let's wrap up today's Sporty Breakfast with the under-17s. The under-17s play today. Calvin, the under-17s are in action today. They take on Nigeria.
Well, it's a very tight game, and I think that Prosper Nateogum, I'm sure, has identified the flaws in his team. That final group game victory was very solid. It was emphatic, 3-1 over the opponents. But playing against Nigeria, you understand the dynamics at this level. And my only problem is the physical attributes of our players as compared to the others, especially what the Nigerians of the team has enough talent. The likes of Kagawa and all others, these players, very good players. But as to whether they will be able to match the physical ability, the physical game that the Nigerians will introduce. We saw that against the Ivorians, and it wasn't easy for Team Ghana at all. As they fluffed, so many times. But wait to see how things would unfold if they are able to get. The best of control of the game, release balls early, not spend too much time, make prudent decisions, transition. I beg him, that high line, he should cut it off.
No.
We beg him, that high line, you should cut it off. And that, you see, our coaches, it's not that they are not intelligent, it's not that they are not capable, but when they seem to try new things, I don't know whether they don't know the limitations, when they should limit it, which team to use that kind of, imposition against or not. But this is one for the ages. The players themselves know that the Ghana-Nigeria rivalry is also at play. You cannot lose to them. If you lose to them, you don't stand a chance of qualifying even for the AFCON, let alone stand an opportunity to qualify for the Under-17 World Cup. So, I'm sure Prosper and his men know this. It's going to be quite a very difficult game. But if they're able to triumph, then it will be a plus for the entire nation, for Prosper Ogum, and then for these youngsters. Many have questioned his ability in handling this team, the selection, the way they play and all that. But after that third group game victory, they should be able to bounce on it to get a win against Nigeria. And hopefully, if we get that, yes, it means AFCON will be secured, and then we'll be looking forward to maybe clinching the ultimate and then going to Africa to see how best we can, perform.
We wish the Black Stars the very best. They are playing in Cote d'Ivoire in the WAFU B qualifiers. Should they beat Nigeria today, they make the final. That's a ticket to the Under-17 AFCON. And then they'll see if they can make it to the Under-17 World Cup. Quickly, as we wrap it up, talking about age-restricted competitions, the Under-20 World Cup is happening in Chile. For those who do not know, the Under-20 World Cup is happening. Let me just run through the results of games that have been played so far. Colombia beat Saudi Arabia by 1-0. The US beat New Caledonia by 9-1. France beat South Africa by 2-1. Norway beat Nigeria by 1-0. Brazil and Mexico drew 2-2. Italy beat Australia 1-0. Morocco beat Spain by 2-0.
Well, it's not surprising because, in the last couple of years, it's Spain that they've been picking, lessons from.
Yeah.
The kind of philosophy, the way they play, the training, the models. They've been adopting that of Spain. And if you look at the Moroccan game, the basics or the fundamentals has actually developed to a certain level where you start getting shaky, and you ask yourself, in the next couple of years, where would Morocco be? So it wasn't too much of a surprise because the basics are now very solid, and most of these players find themselves in some of the topmost academies in France, in Spain, in Portugal. Yeah. So it's
one. Yeah. So there are two of the two scorers. One plays in Portugal for Famalicão.
Exactly.
And then the other plays in France's League 2 for Dunkirk. So
exactly. So quality players all over. So they match the levels which will be provided by the European side.
Yeah.
And it's not surprising at all. And I think credit should also go to South Africa. This kind of game they played against France's Under-20 team, though they lost 2-1, but I think the Amajitas proved a very solid team. It's all about the finishing, the end product.
Yeah.
That is
always an issue.
The end issue. Product. So anyway, hopefully in the subsequent games they'll finish up better.
Yes, in the other results, there were wins for Chile, Paraguay, Japan, and Ukraine. Ukraine beat South Korea 2-1. Japan beat Egypt by 2-0. In terms of matches that will be played, Egypt will face New Zealand today. Panama take on Ukraine. Chile face Japan. And South Korea take on Paraguay. Those are updates from the Under-20 World Cup. We'll be giving you updates regularly as we go along. But that's how I wrap it up this morning on the Sporty Breakfast. My name is Nathan Ko. I did this with Raymond Yamado, Kelvin Owusu, and Michael Asai-Bredu. Many shouts to my production team of Abigail, Immortal, Naneke, and Angela. Many shouts to Emmanuel Ayamga and Fly. The two of them combined their forces to give us the stream and have a presence on social Many shouts to David Kofite and other members. Many shouts to you, our listeners. Thank you so much for tuning in. Your calls and messages, we really appreciate every single one of them. We are back tomorrow, but please keep your dials on Sporty FM because there's the news at midday, Sporty Plug at 12:30, Sporty Drive at 4, and European Nights. The Champions League makes a return, so it's front and center on European Nights later today. Do enjoy your day. Keep your dials locked on Sporty 106.1 FM. We are the voice of sport.